as we expected last night, JaVale McGee joins the team and quickly has a game-winning dunk or game-winning play, which we all assumed was going to happen. You know, is that situation just Denver is saying, hey, if anyone's going to turn JaVale McGee around, it's George Karl, and we're worried about Nene's health, or are they just effing with us? Is that seems like the only explanation I could come up with for them to like we're so much of a team and we're more of a team than you'll ever be, and we're gonna make JaVale McGee matter in a non-hilarious way.
Like they're just trying to prove a point. Like here, we're going to make the Italian combo forward that shoots a lot of threes, and we're going to turn him into an inside monster. We're going to run lineups with Ty Lawson and Andre Miller, and JaVale McGee is our force in the middle. How you like me now? It's a little, they're trolling us a little bit. But I mean, I think the big thing is just Ujiri knows this team isn't winning a title. And I think that, I do think that Ujiri's probably more aware than most GMs. He doesn't get delusional. I don't think he's like, well, no, I think if this team gets it together, we can make a run. Because, Nene's only like 30 and has had knee surgery and has already talked about retiring to Brazil. He could clearly be the guy that we need to lead us to a ring. Like, no, that's not going to happen. They signed him because they needed to sign him, and then when it went bad, they went ahead and they bailed. And if you're going to bail, you might as well get JaVale McGee, because then it's like, all right. I think also part of it is, and at least I like to think of this, is, okay, either Kenneth Faried's going to work out or JaVale McGee. One of them has to work out. The law of probability suggests that if we take two 50% chances, one of them work out. That's actually not how statistics work whatsoever, but it's possible that could end up what makes the difference. I just think that's like, okay, let's take a flyer on McGee. We get rid of Nene's contract. We clear some space. We give Faried more room. He can play. If McGee works out, great. If not, we'll let him go in free agency. Somebody else can pay him $14 million. I think it was a low-risk move for them.
Hey, I'm back. Glad you guys are talking about McGee, because I actually I think he is salvageable in so much as Chris Anderson and these guys can just figure out how to do the three things that they need to do. And McGee is lucky because if he just does those three things, he's suddenly like maybe not Tyson Chandler level, because Chandler brings the communication and knowing what's going on around him stuff, but he's suddenly so valuable because he's so freaking enormous and he's jumped so high. On the other hand, I'm sure he's going to be doing some ridiculous stuff, and I wonder how that relationship with Karl is going to go.
Before Matt answers, I feel like with McGee, you have to figure out a way to relate. Like the movie Road Trip, they explained what was it? Psychology
Japanese
or
history.
Yeah, some kind of history by relating it.
Psychology through the WWF.
Yeah, through the WWF, and with McGee, maybe you just have to be like, look, you've got to stop SpongeBob from getting into the paint, and you can't jump at you can't jump at He-Man's pump fakes here. Maybe that's how they explain it.
Yeah, I
maybe.
mean, I think part of it, for me, it's you bring up Anderson. That's a really good point. Let's bear in mind, the Nuggets have managed to make a guy that came back from a heroin addiction into a pretty decent NBA player. JaVale's crazy. Not going to get crazier than Birdman. I mean, let's be honest. So, I just think that I don't know. I keep wondering, though. The problem is just that he wanders so much mentally. Part of me wonders how much they're going to subject George Karl to, because that was my first thought, is why do the Nuggets hate George Karl? They forced him to deal with Melo and J.R. Smith at the same time, and he deals with J.R. Smith for years. And then they're like, we get rid of him, and he's got this team that's smart, and they pass well, and they have all these guys that have pretty good basketball IQs, and they get along. And then they're like, nah, it's too easy, George. We want you to fix JaVale McGee. Can you fix JaVale McGee? We're going to need you to fix JaVale McGee. Thanks. I mean, they're torturing the guy. It seems mean to me, personally, from my perspective.
Yeah, I wonder if McGee just sort of has, and this is something I sort of heard whisperings about in Washington, whether or not he just has a basketball learning disability, where it's not really he's obviously not a stupid person. Right. I don't think anyway. I think he's a goofball, but I don't think he's like stupid. But I wonder if
I was just gonna say, when he denied the quote that he gave over the lockout to 6 reporters that had recorders in front of him. That's pretty stupid, Beckley. I mean,
Right.
that's really stupid.
Or it's savvy.
Right. Or yeah, he plead the fifth. Right, but that's the question is like, to what degree does he have the capacity to learn? Because he's now in this situation where he's going to be just soaked in like a great culture of sharing the ball, of taking responsibility for helping your teammates. He's got this coach that, you know, does a great job of putting his players in the right position, of valuing, you know, both player freedom and doing the right thing. If he doesn't hack it here, it's hard to imagine he could do it anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's tough just because there's a higher expectation level. That was my concern is, you know, he suffered with extremely low expectations in Washington, where it was basically like, don't do the dumbest thing possible. Don't run in the other direction when your team has the ball. And he couldn't meet that bar.
But it was also
and so now
high
he's in Denver, where it's
because he was supposed to be the franchise center.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you know, Wall was really the icon, and JaVale, it was like, you know, once he started being good, it was let's be the franchise center. In the beginning, he was just a project. He was just a project, and they were like, who's this kid? Oh, he's tall and he's long. Sure, take him. And so, you know, I just wonder if in Denver, if the expectations are going to be too high, because it's going to be like, yeah, we're going to need you to combat Andrew Bynum in a playoff series, and you're going to have to rotate on Kobe Bryant. Go get him, kid.
The more I think about the McGee running back on defense when they're on offense, I feel like that's John Wall's fault. He gave everyone an opportunity. Everyone was watching JaVale run away. John Wall needs to attack at that moment. They would have never seen it coming. That's a free 2 points.
Also, he kind of
he was
like,
just trying to provide a distraction. It was a decoy.
The whole TV is like, wait. Are you guys all seeing this crap? Like, look at that. He's just holding the ball. Like, what? You know, he doesn't even try to like get in the offense or do anything. It's like that play.
Oh my God,
that, like,
JaVale's taking his pants off underneath the other basket.
Right, like they're doing like an inbounds play, and then a kid like gets on the floor and starts barking, and everyone looks at him, and someone cuts the basket and lays it in. That's like McGee's whole career plan. It's just one big setup for when he does the right thing.
It's never not worked.
All right, we got to close this show out. Thanks a lot for coming on, Matt.
Hey, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the show.
All right, you can follow Matt at HP Basketball on Twitter and basically everywhere else basketball is sold on the internet.